This is not the end of the world.
It basically boils down like this. It basically boils down like this. He is sensitive. So there you go. And his feelings were hurt.
Okay.
And that's why he reacted the way he did. I think it was wrong and whatever. So but he's not a bad person. He was sensitive and he overreacted to it. So so Divinity, I'm going to be totally frank with you. Was I in part talking about you last night? Not tonight, whatever, but last night? Yeah, I was. I was talking about Madcore also. I was talking about both of you, but you're not the only two who ever done it. And it also bothered me because like a month ago, I leaned in on Kurt about the Divinity issue. So here it is. It's like every time he does something wrong, I'm going to sit there and basically yell at him, hey, don't do that. I mean, it changed my relationship with him the first time I did it.
And I understood in the chat or in the comments where you said, my list of priorities are my wife, my kids, my parents.
Right. That's
I
it.
understand that. You can't police everybody.
Here's the thing. And then it becomes this thing. It becomes this thing like the next time I have him on my channel, it's like, oh, now you're supporting that time he did that. I'm like, I'm not supporting that. Is he someone who I consider a friend? Yeah. Do I disagree with what he did? Yeah. Does that mean that I'm going to change the nature of my relationship with because he did something that I disagree with? No. Do I disagree with what he did? Okay, yeah, I do. I've told him the last time he's doing the copyright strike that I personally would never copyright strike. But what I'm saying is to put me in that sort of spot where now I have to make a public declaration in front of my entire audience. I was like, what did I do to you that you're putting me in this position? I wasn't upset with you, Divinity. I really wasn't. It wasn't clear what anyone was expecting me to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, totally.
It's like, am I supposed to yell at him? Am I supposed to talk to him behind the scenes? What am I supposed to ban him from my channel? I'm like, I don't know what people want me to do about it. And it's funny because I feel like Nick said the exact same thing I said 3 hours later. And when Nick said it, everyone was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. When I said it, it's like,
but Nick
wow.
went ahead and said, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to fuck it? He's out of Lawtube. You know, he went ahead and said he's like, what do you want to hear? Here's the things you want to hear. And not like you have to say what people need to hear, but I think that Nick understands what the internet is looking for. The internet's saying, acknowledge me, look at me.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But here's what I will say, like back to like my one question that I was going to ask, where I said like, you know, you Legal Mindset, Ricada, you know, the Washington, Jefferson, and Madison of the of the founding fathers of Lawtube. You know, I think the reason why a lot of people were asking, especially the three of you, was because they felt like they weren't getting heard.
Because we're the only based members of Lawtube. That's what it is.
Awesome.
Well, besides that,
who have more than 20,000 subs. No offense to you, Sean. Sean is freaking.
I was about to say what the fuck, but that's a fair point.
I also feel, and this is what I said earlier tonight. I said it about all three of you guys. I said, you guys listen to your chats and read your chats, and like I've heard you say it, I've heard Ricada say it, I've heard Andrew say it of Legal Mindset that, hey, you guys, the chat rules.
Just to be clear, after that incident with Divinity, like in this particular thing, I did reach out to Uncivil in that circumstance, and he specifically asked me never come back to me with something like this again. So he's like, look, I'm gonna do what you're asking, but I'm telling you, please don't ask me to do this again. So I said, okay. You know, I'll be the type of friend that someone wants me to be. Sometimes people really do need that. So you know, if someone says to me, I don't want to have this type of conversation with you again, then me being a good friend is be like, okay, well then we won't have it. So people don't know that behind the scenes that's sort of thing that happens, and that's part of what I mean. So came to me last time. He's like, hey, can you try to handle this whole thing? And I'm like, all right, I'll see what I can do. You were very specific about what you wanted me to do, and how I could try and pitch it, and that made it much easier for me. But my point is, there was an outgrowth that it did change the nature of our relationship, only to the extent that he said, hey, Joe, look, I like you, you're a friend of mine, please don't ever do this with me again. And I said, okay, fine, I won't. But no one knows that. But then the next thing I know, something happens with him again, and people come to me, and I'm like, why am I here? Why am I stuck with this? This isn't fair.
Yeah.
anyone can make a request to me. That's totally cool. But as long as it's clear that it's a request, not an expectation. And that was really my whole point. I wasn't trying to upset anyone. I wasn't trying to embarrass anyone. I certainly didn't want to call. And I was like, you know what? The same way I'm not calling out Divinity or Madcore by name. That's why I wasn't using Kurt's name. Sometimes it gets tiring. Anyway, Divinity, I certainly didn't mean anything negative against you, or against anyone. I wasn't trying to start a drama thing with any individual. That was kind of my whole point. Is I want everyone to be happy and get along. And I was just, this thing never happened. What happened with Nate? I heard you talking about Nate. What happened?
Oh, yeah.
hey. Faran, can I just say one thing? This is still the internet, okay? If you were if you liked Kurt or you thought he was a good guy before, okay, it's not like we just told you he committed war crimes in Croatia or something, okay?
Right.
This is okay. You may not like what happened, but this is not like this is not the end of the world.
It basically boils down like this: he is sensitive, so there you go. And his feelings were hurt. Okay. And that's why he reacted the way he did. I think it was wrong and whatever. So but he's not a bad person. He was sensitive and he overreacted to it.
That's what you should have said yesterday. That's perfect. He's not a bad person. He's sensitive and he overreacted. The end. He's my friend. Yeah. Like that is enough. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You know what, Divinity? You're right. I should have said that yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Hey, real quick, Divinity, I know this is going to sound bad at first, so be patient with me. But right now, I'm glad this happened to you. Because if this hadn't happened to you, I wouldn't have been able to be here with all you great people.
You couldn't do that good logic. You're welcome.
This is,
I don't think I'm that hard to read.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I love Divinity to death. Like, when she hit my algorithm at like 130 subscribers, and I was right on there, and I was immediately like, how can I get you on to my show? We'll talk, we'll everything. But then I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, man, I never thought I'd be here. This is so unbelievable. And I was like, I try to find something good out of it, right? We have enough negativity in the world.
And you know what? And let's just be real here, folks, for just 1 second. Hindsight is very 2020. Okay. You can look at it last night where you're like, hey, I'm trying to be civil about this and I'm trying to just keep it, but then I think as it kept bubbling up more and more and more, it's like, okay, I got to say something. But I think at the time last night, it wasn't at that boiling point yet. And when it's not at that boiling point yet, again, Joe, knowing you, it's like, I'm not going to add another, I'm not going to turn up the heat on this. I'll just, it is what it is.
And that's what Divinity was for, to clip out my thing and turn up the heat a little bit. I will tell you this, you guys watching at home, I'm going to make a confession here. Divinity, watching her streams is like a guilty pleasure of mine. I watch almost everything she does. I seriously do. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, no, it's I greatly enjoy her work, and I think she does a great job of catching people up on interesting moments that happen across Lawtube.
I would say she's the weekly roundup.
Thank you for saying that. That makes me feel special.
Oh, it's really. I said it because it's true. I really enjoy your work.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. But again, in all of this, hindsight is 2020, and maybe even for Kurt, maybe he thought that this was a good idea to get it done and over with, and he's learned now that a little bit of the Streisand effect, and it's not cool. And maybe going forward, he'll learn like, hey, maybe that's not a good idea. I can just talk to the creator themselves and see like, hey, we all learned something here, But
if you really looked at the Carl Benjamin case, all he did was he just edited and then just relabeled and gave it a title like SJW levels of self-awareness.
Yeah. He little changed the order.
A little change of the order, and basically showing how this woman went from being so excited. The video was basically a compilation video that Akilah obviously was. It was the day of the election, Trump versus Clinton.
Yeah, we thought she'd win.
And it was called we thought she'd win, and she showed how excited she was until how she depressed she became, and he basically made a mockery out of it by SJW levels of self-awareness, and it was clear it was designed to parody her, which that's exactly what makes it fair use. You add your little word things on top of it and your thoughts about what's happening. And I'll tell you right now, which is what you do. I'll tell you right now. To me, I would say that I think that's even that minimal level where you're just giving your own commentary about what everyone is seeing. I think that to me
definitely
is fair use. So we see from Carl Benjamin, he didn't speak into a mic. He
word.
literally just edited.
Oh yeah, fair.
Gave it a title. So that's how we know as a matter of law. And not only did he win, he won attorney's fees.
Oh, he cleaned her. He cleaned her good.
Yeah. So that's why I think, and every time I've ever gotten a copyright strike, my response has always been it's fair use reaction video, and invariably, almost always they end up yielding.
Right.
I just want to make it clear though, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, Joe, but just so we're clear. You do not agree with the copyright strike that Kurt did.
I think it was fair use.
It was fair use. Okay. Because I will say, we're about to see Nate the lawyer say the same thing.
I would never do it.
Okay. Because a lot of people in the chat were saying, how does he feel?
So I guess I'm basically telling the world, if Kurt ever copyright strikes you, don't ask me. I told him I won't bring it up to him. So I'd be a jerk if I did. And
you know what's cool about the internet, Joe, is that there's how many people in chat? 500 or however many there are, 300, and then this will be seen by 1,000. It doesn't matter who it's seen by. What matters is the chat is going to, when the next person says, "Why isn't Joe saying anything?" Bam, 50 people go because Joe already addressed this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the internet. We're not retarded. Or I didn't say that.
Well, it is the internet.
That's the debatable.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's 3:00 in the morning, and we're all sitting here talking.
Okay,
I don't think that's out of question.
I gotta get to work in an hour.
You're being a little bit hyper concerned to say like, oh my God, maybe Nate's going to win this thing, and now fair use laws are going to radically change overnight. I can't even imagine it ever going to anything like that, or him being successful, because it's so ridiculously outside the range of what would succeed in a copyright claim.
So, but Joe, who's going to believe that you, a man, are a victim of domestic violence? You never know, baby.
Well,
you never know.
The last time I made a statement like that about how it's not going to have any impact, I had Sean and 4 other attorneys yelling at me that I don't realize how dangerous the world is, or how bad our justice system is. So.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's still my favorite.
And again, this coming from the guy that covered Ghislaine Maxwell,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, I take it back. You're Ghislaine Maxwell. The one day you came out of court and talked to us about that one specific witness, the woman was... I loved you for that.
Thank you. It's actually became my my landing video. If you anyone who's new to my site, that's actually the first video anyone finds. So I actually meant to change it, but I don't know. Maybe you just convinced me. Perhaps I should leave it as.
I'd leave it. Yeah, it's good.
And somebody's asking, how did you guess that Kurt's a Capricorn from the video? Every Capricorn that I know is very analytical.
That's Law Nerd Clips.
Yeah.
He's great.
I just every Capricorn that I've met, they're very analytical and they're very in their head. Yeah. So that was my first guess. And then after it was a Taurus, but yeah, there you go. Let's see what else he has to say really quick.
And giving it publicly even let you guys know that yes, and Kurt will even say this. Yes, Nate has told me that, we should just let this thing go, but he feels a different way about it. So, we have a difference of opinion. So, and again, I really want to say, I have asked a couple of times, just let this thing go. Don't let this video have any power over you, but the person still wants to do it. So it is what it is.
Loves you.
Oh, you guys are really too kind. I do think that I'm supposed to be doing a deposition tomorrow at noon. So
rest up, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up.
Thanks for letting me simp on you.
I feel like Divinity is really mad at me. Like she's seething quietly.
No, not at all. Listen, I was on with Nate the lawyer. I was on with DUI guy and potentially criminal. And when you came on, I took my phone out and I took a real picture of the screen so that I could show people that you were here and that we were together.
That's very flattering.
And I think you'll see in her video too. I think while everybody else responded, like even like with Nate, when he was on, like I think you being here, you went head first into this, and you even said, I should have said more. And you know what? That takes balls. It takes balls.
More. I don't mind.
No.
I don't mind owning if I screw up, especially if it's directly affecting one person. I don't like apologizing to a group of anonymous people, but if I do something wrong with respect to one person, I think that's. I don't feel like it's like I'm going on a limb. I don't feel like it's taking balls. I feel like that's just you're basically displaying that you're an adult. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So.
And it's why I've looked at you, even in this whole YouTube space, as my own dad, and I know you got a good head on your shoulders, and I know you personally, and you're a good guy, a very good guy. So send love to the family.
That's awesome.
Kick ass at your deposition tomorrow.
Good night, y'all.
Take care.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Well, what'd you think about that? I have one more video to show you, and it's gonna take a while. I think the video is probably my longest one. This one started as 44 minutes. And so the fact that it's 15 right now, it's like, sometimes you just don't know what you need to clip, so you clip it all. I really don't know how to describe yesterday. I guess it was everything I had hoped it would be and nothing that I expected. Does that even make sense? If it could be everything I hoped and nothing I expect. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what happens when you really, really, really let go and let God. Many of you know, if you were in my comments yesterday or the day before, I was over it. I was done. I just was never going to come back to Lawtube again. And I think that sometimes that's what God wants from us. He wants us to really let go, so that this isn't sad, I'm just emotional because it's a lot. But I think that sometimes God wants us to let go so that when at the end of it, all of the pieces fit together perfectly and everything makes sense, we can know that it wasn't us. So once I let go and once I said, I'm done, I don't care, this ain't for me, God said, let me show you what's for you. And so I'm humbled and I'm blown away, and I'm back, bitch. And what is it? I appreciate you, and I think I'm gonna start adding these bits at the end, because most people don't wait till the end, and I don't want you to hear my voice ever. Tonight is Friday. No, it's not. It's Thursday night, so it's ladies' night over on the experts chat. So we'll be doing that in 7 minutes. Oh, I don't have time. Oh my god. I have to make dinner still. What else was I gonna say? I mean, I adore Joe from Good Logic. I really do. Just thank you, everyone, for your support. It means a lot.